There are some things that absolutely shocked me about Morocco, and some things I was used to but might shock you. Listen up and let's find out what kind of culture shock you may experience in Morocco. The first piece of culture shock that really struck me was the inshallah timing. Let me give you an example. If your friend or some colleague or somebody says, okay, let's meet at 3 p.m. When they say 3 p.m., they don't really mean 3 p.m. They mean something like 4, 5, or whatever it may be. So that really, it was a massive culture shock for me because even though I am half Moroccan, I wasn't brought up in that kind of tardy, relaxed timing kind of thing, especially because I lived in Japan for 11 years. And as you may or may not know, Japan is a very, very on-time society. If they say 3 p.m., they'll be there at 2:59 p.m. to make sure they're on time, or they'll be there a bit early. No one's late or hardly ever late, and if they are, there's a really, really good excuse, like the trains were delayed or some accident happened. So definitely something that it's still difficult for me to get used to, but now I kind of just expect it. So it's not like a thing that annoys me anymore. It's just like, oh, okay, the inshallah timing. It's just a delayed clock, let's say. Another thing that really shocked me and will definitely shock you is the level of hospitality in Morocco. You could have just met someone and they're inviting you to their house for dinner. And this is a true story for me. It wasn't the dinner thing. It was, I just arrived in the country and I had a friend that I didn't really know very well, just online. And before I even met him, he said, you can stay at my apartment, I'm away with you and your family. I'm like, bro, you don't know me. I could be a crazy psychopath, murderer, killer, weirdo, which I'm not, don't worry. But it's possible, right? The level of trust he gave me, I have never seen it, and the level of welcoming and help. And this friend also helped me, find a lawyer, get residency. He didn't just leave me. He took me step by step. He focused with me. He gave me his time and attention, which I'm telling you, this is like a diamond in the rough when you go back to the UK or any places in the Western world. You won't find these kinds of people, very, very rarely. Where they're not just helping you, they're helping you from the bottom of their hearts. They're saying, I don't want nothing in return. I don't want no money. I don't want to thank you. I don't even want to thank you, he said to me. Just, this is my duty. This is between me and God. And he helped me out. And it teaches you as well, whether you're Muslim or non-Muslim, that we should be more like this, more like the Moroccans in terms of hospitality. And this is definitely number one, cultural, and number two, religious. Islam teaches that you should obviously be more hospitable, friendly, loving to your friends and neighbors. If you're thinking of moving to Morocco, then listen closely. I have partnered with a local lawyer to help you come to Morocco stress-free. He'll deal with all the paperwork, all the headache. And me, I'll do all the running around, help you with the apartments, help you with the utilities, help you set up your internet. And it's not as simple as you think. It took me over 2 years to try to set up my residency here in Morocco by myself. But with the help of the lawyer and the things I've learnt, I can get it done for you way faster than that. You see, Morocco is not a country where things are straightforward and simple. There are lots of barriers to jump, hoops to go through, and I don't want that for you. So if you are interested in moving to Morocco, book your free consultation call and let's see if we can help you out. Until then, Assalamu alaikum. Cafe culture here is dominated by men. You will find cafes scattered side by side throughout all of Morocco, and all with men sitting down, sipping their mint tea, watching their football match. Alright, so I'm here in the cafe and I got my mint tea, staring at the bin. But yeah, they're everywhere, and this is your go-to, the mint tea. Also got this cool pastry. This is actually a new cafe that opened up next to me, and there we are. I don't know how much this costs, but I doubt it's more than $3 or $4. So enjoy. In Morocco, they speak Darija, right? That's their native tongue. But it's not just Darija actually. It's a mix of French, Darija, Spanish, sometimes even English. It's a cocktail, a mishmash of languages. So sometimes when I speak to someone and I'm talking to them in Arabic, so I know a bit of Darija and a bit of Fusha, right? I don't really know any French. But I hear something Frenchy coming out of their mouth. I'm like, what's that? Can you just say in Arabic? And they're like, The Arabic word for sometimes they don't even know the Arabic word, but they have a French word for it. And not just that, the words they use also have Amazigh, which is obviously the native language of Morocco. A lot of Moroccan is actually intertwined with Amazigh. There's words you use in Darija that are actually Amazigh in origin. But yeah, maybe 4 or 5 languages mixed in one sentence, and it leaves you scratching your head thinking, how many languages do I need to learn to be in Morocco and communicate? But yeah, one thing about Moroccans as well, linked to this, is they know so many languages. The average Moroccan knows at least 2 languages, at least minimum. But usually, a lot of Moroccans, they know either French, Arabic Fusha, Darija, they know English, some of them. A lot of them in the north, they know Spanish. It puts the rest of the world to shame. The multilingual country of Morocco, mashallah. This next one might be a bit weird for some of you, but for me, I'm used to it because, I came to Morocco every year for summer as a child, etc. But that's the touchy, kissy greetings, even between men. So, men and women, they kiss each other's cheeks like, and it's for a man and a man to do it, it's completely normal, no homo, none of that. It's just a greeting. And for a Westerner, somebody who is not part of the Moroccan culture either, it might feel a bit weird and a bit, rainbow flag, but it's not. There's nothing like that. And it's just, it's a culture where people aren't afraid to be close, to greet with a hug and a kiss on the cheek. And it's not like a proper kiss, it's more like a side touch, cheek to cheek, and it's not an actual kiss. You'll be shocked, in some countries in the Middle East, men actually hold hands like friends and walk down the street. I haven't seen it in Morocco, to be honest, but yeah, they can literally kind of just hold hands and let's go. And it's completely normal, and there's nothing odd about it. It's just the culture. And that's why there's a thing called culture shock. You're shocked about the culture. It's different to yours. Now, I want to give you extreme opposites. The Japanese culture, there's absolutely no touchy, no nothing. You just bow, right? So if a Japanese person were to come to Morocco and get a Moroccan greeting, it might overwhelm him, and he might feel very, very uncomfortable because they don't even hug or shake hands, generally speaking. It's a Western thing to shake hands, right? Or the rest of the world, not just Western. But yeah, imagine that. A Japanese person come and getting a big hug and a big kiss and a mwah, mwah. I might go crazy. Another thing that might shock you guys is, if you watched my previous episode, you saw I did an episode about cats being everywhere. Well, that's true. There are cats littered absolutely everywhere, as well as dogs, but mainly cats. You'll find them on streetways, alleyways, forests, parks, beaches, anywhere and everywhere. You find people, you'll find cats. Because where there's people, there's food. And where there's food, there's cats. So the thing is, people are very friendly to the cats. They feed them, they look after them, and cats are very resourceful, so they easily multiply. I found a cat, we named her Betty. She gave birth, right? She had I think 6 kittens. I think one of them died. I'm not joking. 2 months later, I see her again, and she's pregnant again. These cats are productive. So you'll find kittens, not just cats, you'll find them everywhere. Maybe I'll find one on my way now and I'll show you. See, this next one you'll find in some parts of Morocco more than others, and that is the squatting toilet. The squatting toilet with just a water jug. So no toilet paper, sorry guys, and no seating area, no place to sit down and go to the toilet. Yes, it may be shocking to you, but it's actually beneficial for you. The squatting toilet is actually a more productive way to get rid of excrement and waste from your body. And it's not just in Morocco, you'll find it in places like anywhere in the Middle East, in Africa, in places like Asia, Pakistan, India, you'll find these squatting toilets. They do feel a bit grimy sometimes, and you have to kind of take off all of your trousers and your underwear, and you need to kind of fill up the jug, and there's more work involved. And it's more of a commitment, if that makes sense, to go to the toilet. So yeah, it may be shocking if you've never used one, but once you've used one, you'll see that it's not so bad. But it's very inconvenient if you're just trying to quickly go to the loo or the toilet. In major cities, when you're in supermarkets or you're, at shopping malls, etc., you'll always find a normal toilet to sit down on and do your business. So don't you worry. This might not be so much of a shock to you, but I think it's important you know this, because some of you might be shocked depending on where you live. Depending on who you're dealing with, and what you're buying. There are Moroccan prices and tourist prices. What do I mean by that? I mean, if you're a Moroccan, if you're a local, they'll give you the normal price because they know you know what the prices are, right? Say you're at I don't know, a clothing store. There's no prices. They'll give you the Moroccan price. If they know you're a foreigner, they might double or triple the price. So haggling is essential in the markets. In a normal store, then you don't haggle like in the mall. It's not appropriate. But in a market, if you don't haggle, you've probably been ripped off a little or a lot. I don't know. Depends on the person and their honesty, etc. So my rule of thumb is I just ask for half the price, just half, and then we work up from there, because you know I kind of get a gist of what prices should be like. I understand that like this shouldn't be 400 dirham. This is like not worth it. Even in the UK, no one pays that. Things in Morocco are way cheaper. So put two and two together, kind of use your common sense. The best thing to do as well is to ask locals, how much is this thing roughly? Or ask a friend, how much do you expect to pay for, I don't know, khandura or whatever it may be. And that way you're less likely to be bumped or cheated or scammed or overcharged or whatever you want to call it. So definitely watch out for that. Guys, for those of you who don't know me, I'm a very relaxed, laid back person. But there are some things I've learned in life that kind of still annoy me in terms of not being so relaxed. And one of them is queuing. In Morocco, nobody queue. I've yet to see a 1-line or 2-line queue waiting for something. Like if you go to the Muqata'a, which is the place where you get your papers done, I have seen a queue in Rabat in the Muqata'a. Some people, because there's a forced queue, a line. But where there's no actual line for you to queue, people just kind of gather around. And nobody pushes in from what I've seen. Nobody, jumps the queue or the line. But it's like an organized chaos. Everyone's just everywhere and everyone knows who's first, right? So it kind of works out, but not in all situations. Now, if you take the train here in Morocco, you'll soon realize that there's no such thing as queuing for the train. It's whoever gets on first. Whereas in a place like Japan, yes, it's a single line or a double line, and you go in, you queue, you go in, and everything is orderly and lovely, right? So you may be shocked. You may find that annoying. You may be like, why are you pushing in? I was here waiting here for 20 minutes and you just think you can jump on and get the first seat. You see, that's not fair. Well, this is Morocco. Life is not fair. So you have to get used to it. But I do hope things like this do improve, because it is shocking and I don't think it's a good thing, to be honest. It should be changed. It should be improved. There should be order to some extent, right? And etiquette in something simple like getting on the train. But inshallah, step by step, everyone improves. But we do need to take steps to improve that, definitely. This next culture shock, definitely, I like it. Let's just say that. Even if you live in a city or in a place like where I live, you'll see, like, especially during Eid, you'll just see sheep and a shepherd, grazing on the grass in the middle of your residence, just feeding his sheep. And it's nice to see that, because it reminds you that, nature is real. It lets you see it up close. And not just that, the thing is, you also see horses and donkeys still. Yes, they're not as common in the city as they would be in the countryside. You'll see it very often in the countryside. Actually, once, believe it or not, this is a true story. I was walking, I think I was going somewhere. Anyway, I was doing something and I was walking and I saw a horse. The horse was on the road by itself. It's like a cat. That horse definitely ran away from its owner or something, because there was no owner, there was no nothing. It was just roaming the streets. So it definitely broke free or something, or escaped. And I was like, oh my God, there's just a horse in the middle of the road, like it's a pigeon on the street. It's like, whoa. That gave me culture shock. I mean, I've seen horses and I've seen donkeys, but this one was on the loose. It was like a missing, I don't know. Anyway, you get it. This next one might annoy some of you. For me, personally, it doesn't. But in Morocco, people aren't afraid to correct your kids or to give you advice about your kids. For example, this happened to me. If it's a slightly cold day for Moroccans, for us from the UK, it's not that cold. Like 15 degrees, 16, 17, it's not that cold, right? But anyhow, they will say, oh, they need to wear a thicker cloak or jumper. And I don't think that's coming from a place of like, you're a bad parent. It's coming from a place of concern. And it's kind of like small talk. Like, a way of just being nice, and like you're concerned about the well-being of a random child you don't know. because yes, we're a homogenous society, we are all one community and we're all one humanity, so let's take care of each other's children, no problem. So but some people obviously they interpret things like, who are you, don't tell me what to do, this is my child, I hate it, you can't tell me, you're not the boss of me. You know, it depends on the person, case to case. For me, I don't really care, but it may shock you. Alright, so if you're jumping on a taxi, one thing you should expect is you're there by yourself, sitting in your taxi, driving away, and the guy is like, oh hello, how's everything? Then suddenly somebody pulls their hand out and the taxi driver stops and you're like, hey guy, this is not my location for drop off. Well, he's not dropping you off, he's picking up multiple passengers. So the taxi is not just for you. If there's 4 seats, then there'll be 4 people with 4 destinations. Everyone will sit in the taxi and it's kind of like a shared ride. So obviously in the UK and other places, when you're in a taxi, you are there by yourself until you reach your destination, then they'll pick up a new customer, right? That's not the case in Morocco. Some people don't like it because they feel like, well, I don't want to sit with strangers in a taxi, I don't know you, why are you touching up next to me? Some people don't care. I'm of those who don't really care, and I think that's how they can get the prices so cheap as well. Actually, if it was 1 passenger per taxi, the price might skyrocket. And people are resourceful here, people are trying to save money. It's just the culture, it's the way the taxi system works, so it's absolutely fine with me. With you, I don't know, you tell me in the comments. Next up, bureaucracy and paperwork can take ages, and when I mean ages, I mean to where you think they've completely forgotten about you. I converted my license, it took me like, what was it, over 6 months. I got residency, I was waiting for my card for over 2 months or 3 months, I can't remember. Submitting documents, them forgetting where your papers are, did you pay, did you not pay? This happens. Why? I personally believe there's not enough systemization and computer work here. So nothing is organized in a way in which mistakes are reduced and the process is streamlined. That's just from my observation, and I'm not a professional in bureaucracy. Actually, I hate forms and bureaucracy, absolutely despise it, and that's exactly why I got a lawyer when in the end I just couldn't handle it anymore because nothing was making sense, and that lawyer did an amazing job for me and sorted everything out. And as you've already seen, there's a service that can hopefully help you too if you're wishing to move to Morocco. Anyhow, yeah, it's not going to be a fun thing for you, trust me.